Hi guys, welcome to Jamming with the Stars, the ultimate guitar method for all levels. My name is Roque. I'm a professional guitar player based in Los Angeles, and I'm here to show you a little bit of my experience as a musician, educator, and I'm here for you. Doesn't matter if you're just starting playing guitar, if you haven't started yet, or if you are intermediate or advanced level. So our first lesson is just a quick recap. I'm assuming that with YouTube and internet, most people who want to learn guitar, they're already playing some chords. They're already playing at least the minor pentatonic. So it's just a quick recap. Most of you guys already know this, but it's a good starting point because it will allow us to improve a little bit every single video. So the first thing I want to talk about is how important it is to memorize the notes on your fretboard. And some students, they struggle with that when they're starting for two reasons. We have strings and we have frets, and it's super easy for teachers, or when you learn how to read like a tablature, people will say like first string fret 5 and you press that and you play. And you don't need to know what's that note to be able to make a sound. When people teach you the minor pentatonic, you will start on a fret number 5 and you're playing that. You don't need to know what notes you're playing. You just need to know that that's the minor scale, and if you're playing a blues in A, that works. We need more than that. Because I started music at the age of 4 or 5 years old playing piano, it took me months to be able to sit in front of the piano and play, because a huge part of the learning and the process in classical music and conservatory, it's learning how to read. So first you learn the notes on the notation for the notes, tempo, values, intervals. You learn everything kind of about music theory before you sit at the instrument, and then like they will, oh, you see that first note, it's a C, here's your C, and from there you start to connect things. Guitar is the opposite. You first learn how to play and make the sound, and then you think it's too late to learn that foundation because you're already playing. And a lot of people, they lack that basics, they lack that foundation. So that's how we're gonna start, right? Everybody knows the names of the strings, because when you buy like a pack of strings, it tells you. So the first note, it's or E, and that simply means that when you play that string without pressing any fret, it's an E or low E. In our Western notation, we have 12 notes in our chromatic scale, and out of those notes, they're separated by an interval of a half step. All we need to know is that a half step in our instrument is the distance between one fret to the next one, or from the open string to the first fret. So if this is an E and I press on the first fret, it's an F. If I press on the next one, it's an F sharp, G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. When I reach the 12th fret, I'm back at the same note as my open string in this case, and it's an E. We call that an octave, right? Because after 7 notes within a key, we start to repeat the notes on a higher pitch. E string, open, it's a frequency of 82 hertz. This one is 164, so it's double the frequency. It's the same note but at a higher pitch. We don't need to talk about that right now. So think of the guitar as a piano. But when you look at the keyboards, you have that starting note. It can be an F, it can be a C, and you have all of those notes lined up. So every string on the guitar, it's a piano. The problem is With guitar, every single string, it's a piano. It's a keyboard of a piano, starting from a different note. So that's why it gets so confused for some people. Another difference is, even though I have all of my 12 notes, and sometimes I can repeat a whole second octave, those notes, I'm not able to play two notes on the same string at the same time like in a piano. So we cannot play harmonies. We will have to combine different strings in order to play chords. Fifth string, it's an A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, back to A. If you do this in every single string, you will find all of the notes. You only need to memorize 5 instead of 6, because the 6th string and the first one, they're the same note, they're E. So once you play like this, you know that they represent the same note in different octaves. One thing that helps people to memorize notes on the fretboard is learning intervals. Like I say, the octave, it means that that note repeats itself on a higher pitch. So once you find that note on a different string and you can play them back and forth, you can understand an interval. And the good thing with guitar is once we have an interval, you can move up and down, and that goes parallel. So you can find that the respective note that you're trying to find, sometimes without having to count. So one simple example here is if I press my 6th string on my fret number 5, it's an A note. And I have an A note right here on my 4th string, fret number 7. That's the octave, right? So this is an A, this is an A. If I move this half step, this is an A sharp, this is an A sharp. So this is a B, this is a B. If I come back, this is a G, this is another G. So we have the concept of octave. And that helps us to memorize the notes quicker, right? So all you have to do, there's 2 ways to do it. You choose like a E note, and then you find the E note on, you have open string, you have here, I don't have 24 frets to find here. Let's find an A note on the A string. I have one here, and I have another one here. Let's find on the 4th string, I have one here, and then I have another one here. On the 3rd string, I have one here, I have another one here, sorry. On the 2nd string, I have one here, and then I have another one here. 1st string, same thing, open string, fret 12. So I found all of my E notes in every single string, and some strings I will have 2, and if I had a longer scale, some strings I will have 3 notes, but finding 2, it's good enough. And you do this with all of the notes, and then you try to play them. E, 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 there's an E here, here, and then here, they're here, 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 and it should be here. Start to map the fretboard, recognizing the notes, the intervals. Find different strings. Try to combine intervals, like here and here, it's an interval. Like here and here, it's an octave. It's an octave, it's an octave, 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 octave. Once you do this, you start to see the patterns, and you start to find the notes closer. Even if you don't memorize the whole fretboard at once, you get closer, because you see that 20% of my fretboard, it's already covered, because I know where are all of the repeating notes happening, and I know that one string is just an octave from the sixth one, right? So that's kind of how I will start, because from here we will learn how to transpose, we will learn how to identify notes, and we will learn shapes, and from chords, from scales, from triads, arpeggios, everything is connected to knowing what you're doing, because you wouldn't play piano if you don't know the notes you're playing to start with. But guitar, for some reason, people just memorize shapes because it's easy, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we need sometimes to go back in our basics and just master the foundations. And I think this is sometimes overlooked. There's not people talking about that too much, and sometimes people learn, but they don't really learn because they don't know how everything started. So this is just a quick first lesson. If you want to sign up for the masterclass, we have hundreds of other videos from all levels. We have backing tracks, we have music sheet, we have tablature. I'm not just teaching music theory and teaching scales and chords and harmony. We also have music, we have jams, so you guys can play. You guys will have the chance to improvise and jam over backing tracks recorded by some of the most legacy studio musicians to this day. I've been honored to working and playing with these guys after a lifetime in music, and then moving to LA. And I'm providing that to you guys because many times when you're just starting, or even when you kind of experienced musician, depending on where you live and depending on your community and your network, sometimes you are at a certain level and you don't have a chance to play with people that are more experienced or knowledgeable than you. And there's nothing better than playing with musicians that are on a different level. That's kind of how you develop, that's kind of how you learn. And over the years, I realized that playing with backing tracks like sample drums or electronic drums, or like those generic backing tracks, they're just looping chords without a context of a song, without the context of expression and dynamic, and even a drum fill. Sometimes you're playing a rhythm and you have drummers that they will play a drum fill, and you have to know how to interact with that. You have to know how to address your playing and kind of flow with whatever is happening in the drums. And most of those backing tracks, the generic ones, they're just like a one bar loop that keeps repeating, and eventually there's a change of pattern or something, but it's just it's a mantra, right? It's great for exercise and for some purposes, but that won't give you the experience, that won't give you the feel and the dynamic that it is to be in a room playing with a real musician, with a real drummer, and a very good one, I would say. Just playing with Kenny Aronoff, you have a click track in your monitor, but when he's playing a fill, he goes completely off that click, and you have to go with him and then come back. You will never learn that by playing with a backing track, by playing with a sample drum, by playing with a generic whatever materials provided. Those are great for some purposes, but they will not give you the experience and the ability to navigate your playing and adjust what you're doing in a real life situation. So my course, Jamming with the Stars, it's very close to my heart because I'm just making it available for you guys, something that it's been an honor and a joy for me to be able to be in the studio with those guys and playing and interacting. And I know that everybody can benefit from that. Some people will have these musicians as their heroes, like I had in my lifetime, growing up with like posters and listening to records, and then like you were here in the room with those guys that you grew up listening to. You need to make something out of it. And the experience of playing in the same room, not just recording virtually, it was just too good not to share and offer to you to experience, as close as I can to offer to you guys. So I hope you like this quick introduction, quick lesson. I will be launching the course very soon on my website. The website's still in under updates, so stay tuned for that. I will have new lessons every week. I will provide a lot of free material and free lessons. I just want to get this going with as much free content and lessons that I can provide to you guys. And get you to the point where you understand the value of what I'm showing, what I'm offering, and what I'm teaching. And then you can decide and commit for yourself if you want to join our community and take a next step into developing your journey on the guitar and becoming a successful guitarist no matter where you live. I'm very fortunate to be in Los Angeles and in a place that is still very competitive, but as long as you have the skills, the knowledge, the mindset of a professional and successful musician, you will do just fine. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. See you soon.